online at timestalks.com. We're so excited to be part of New York Comic Con this year for the first time, and to have the talent behind Cartoon Network's Adventure Time with us today. Including the voices of Big Dog, Finn the Human, and Lumpy Space Princess. We'll hear much more about them and the show in just a moment, but first, it's my pleasure to introduce our moderator. As a culture reporter for the New York Times, he is the lead contributor to the Arts Beat blog on nytimes.com, and he writes the weekly Big Profile feature for the Sunday magazine. He is also the author of 2 memoirs, and his latest book is about the movie Network. It's called Mad as Hell, and it will be published in February. Please join me in welcoming from the New York Times, Dave Itzkoff, and our special guest, who can only be described as totally righteous, Pendleton Ward.
Run the show.
No, don't do that. That's okay.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our totally mathematical panel. I am really excited to be sitting next to Pendleton Ward, the creator of Adventure Time. Ben, thanks so much. So
hello.
This is a question I wanted to ask you for a long time, actually. You created a cartoon world where a boy and a dog can be brothers and best friends, where a lumpy space blob can be a princess, where a vampire can have daddy issues. What were you like as a child?
I was an idiot. What was that, really? I was fat, and I ate a lot of pizza, and I played Diablo 1.
Stay a while and listen.
What?
Stay a while and listen.
Stay a while and listen? Oh, right. That was from that video game from the 90s.
So these kinds of things, I mean, video games, comic books, role-playing games, I mean, this was a big part of your upbringing and kind of culture you were consuming at the time. Were you taught to value these things, that they were important to you?
As a small, chubby nerd, it was my entire life. Video games, comics, and cartoons. That was all that I knew. So yeah, it was super important to me because that was my childhood, and I lived in that world when you did. Yeah, I'll keep it short.
I mean, did you know that those were going to be crucial? These would be crucial stepping stones that you know to have a career, a cultural career. That these were things that would actually pay off for you later on down the road.
No, I don't know. No, watching cartoons as a kid. Gotta keep this in because those crucial stepping stones. Pick on you. No, but I knew what I wanted to do when I was little. I knew I wanted to be an animator. I used to do a lot of flip books. So I just got on little post-it note pads. My mom would carry post-it notes in her purse and give them to me. So she would take me everywhere she went. She's a single mom, and she'd give me these post-it notes, and I would just sit by myself quietly and animate stories on them. I spent a lot of time doing that when I was little. I knew what I wanted to do from an early age.
I have an interesting story to tell about Pendleton as a child. And Matt Groening tells the story. His mom brought him over to Matt Groening's house as like an 11 or 12-year-old and said, "Hi, just cold, knock the door." And Matt answered it, "Hi, hello, and this is my son, Pendleton Ward. he wants to be an animator. Do you have any advice for him? And Matt gave him advice. And sure enough, one of Matt's favorite shows is Adventure Time. And he came to tell a story a couple of years ago in San Diego about how, he got knocked on the door and sees a little pen, a little more. Hey, how you doing? I like drawing. So yeah, you've been doing it for a long, long time.
Yeah. So how do you go from a little Pendleton Ward hanging out at Matt Groening's house to having your own show on Cartoon Network? What were some of the key steps in getting it on the air?
It's a big answer because, oh man.
That's why they're here, man.
Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, well, I think the first thing that a lot of people don't do is do stuff. A lot of people stop it, like, I want to do it, how do I do it, how do I get into it? I think you just need to take a stab at stuff as soon as you can. Like with Post-it notes, like just start animating if you want to be an animator. Get paper and like flip it with your hands. That's what I was doing. But that's, man, it's such a long, boring answer. I went to school, and
Are there origin stories to where Jake and Finn came from in your imagination?
they were just doodles in my sketchbook. I just doodle a lot. I carry sketchbooks in my pockets, get small ones, so I can always doodle. And that's where it started. I just picked 2 doodles when I was pitching from my book, and I plugged in the personalities of my friends and into these little sketches that I had. And that's where it starts, I think, when you're trying to figure out what to pitch or what your story is. Just start drawing, and then look at your friends and which 2 of your friends are your weirdest friends, and then start plugging in their personalities into your drawings. Start writing stories about it. Fanfic your friends.
So, Jeremy, tell us about how you got into the world of voice acting and then how that eventually led you to the role of Finn.
Well, Jake,
I was asking Jeremy.
That's no worries.
Well, okay then, John. Why don't you take it away there? No, by all means, seriously, go for it.
I've been acting since I was a kid. It's true. But I was doing a lot of, I did stand-up in my 20s here in New York City. These are my old stomping grounds. I used to live on 35th between 9th and 10th. Hey, all right. There we go. Right around the corner from the Javits Center. Oh, we made it. But I was doing stand-up a lot, and I started doing voiceover for television and radio commercials. And then when I moved to Los Angeles, there was a lot more animation there. And I started to audition for a lot of things. And I got Futurama, which was and then I, auditioned for this little pilot called Adventure Time, where I was the voice of the dog, and it was just, Jake's voice is close to mine. It's like as close to mine as most voices that I do, except he's a little more, he's a little more homey, You want to kind of cuddle up with this voice, you know what I mean? Get a blanket, maybe a hot dog. Hot dog. Dog eating a hot dog. Pretty cool. But yeah, that's just it, It's just, you audition and you hope for the best, and you never know when a show is going to explode like this show has. Hey, what's up, everybody in the back behind the curtain? Yo! They couldn't make it. They don't know what a clock is.
You've probably been waiting.
I know. We had to get here at 5 a.m. It's like the new Dead Show, Hey man, I need a miracle. It's okay.
A few of us up here on stage got that reference.
Yeah. Okay, it's all right. Cool.
We used lines from your audition in the pilot. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So tell us then how Jeremy also became a part of the show.
Yeah, there was a question for me, it wasn't there. You can take that one away too. I started out doing other action, like live action, like other TV shows and stuff, commercials, all that. And then I done some voiceover commercials. And when the audition rolled around for Adventure Time, my brother Zach, some of you may not know this, some of you might, did the original pilot and played Penn the Pilot. And so when it rolled around to Cartoon Network about 3 years later, my voice sounded just like his, and I kind of copied him a little bit too. And had a couple rounds of auditioning, booked the show, and I'm thinking, oh, this will be cool, it'll be a cool little voiceover show, nice gig, and then it ends up. So, it's been pretty awesome.
Right. Thank God your brother went through puberty.
It wasn't that your... What?
What happened? Hooray for puberty, yeah! I have no idea what's going on.
That's clearly the message of New York Comic Con.
Yes, hooray for puberty.
So is Zach now super jealous of you that you got this?
I get that question a lot. No, he's not jealous. I think he'll tease me about it sometimes, like, yeah, it should have been me. No, he's totally cool about it.
Right. When you're first reading even just your audition script and looking at pages and seeing what's going to happen to these characters, are you just like, what the heck is going on here? Or was it all sort of clear in your mind what this is going to turn into?
Yes. Seriously, sometimes I still don't know what's going on in the land of Boo. I am completely confused until a fan comes up and goes, oh, this is what it is. I'm like, oh, okay. Sure.
We all have Arnold Palmers.
He's the patron saint of Comic Con.
I'm totally trying to find out right now.
Well, while everybody is enjoying a tasty beverage.
Corn syrup.
No, I don't think we're going to get endorsed by Arnold Palmer now.
It's delicious. You see why I don't do commercials anymore.
So we've got a couple of clips of Adventure Time that we're going to show two back to back, and the first one is one that has not been seen on television yet. And in fact, the internet audience doesn't even get to see this. This is only for the and then that'll be followed up by something that everybody's already seen, but you're going to see it again.
By Steve Little. I don't know if you guys watch Eastbound and Down. Kenny Powers' assistant. Yeah, Steve Little. Really funny guy.
So maybe this is something that the whole creative team can speak to. It also, Penn and Rebecca and Kent. But one of the achievements of the show is that it really feels like Finn and Jake are inhabiting this world that feels complete and populated, and as viewers, we're getting to discover it with them. Do you try to sit down before the season and kind of figure out the world, or are things happening spontaneously as you're discovering them?
A prepared answer.
Do?
Do you want someone else?
I think we do that now more than we did in the first, few seasons. I think now, especially if a team does a pitch, and we'll go into a writer's meeting and talk about, what do we do now? Now that we have this, what do we do now? Expand on that. But usually it's just, like that clip from Gotcha, that was because Rebecca, we were talking about like rom-coms, and you were watching that Beauty in the Briefcase, right?
I was.
You see it?
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, it was, yeah.
I was watching rom-coms.
Sorry, I was here. Yeah, usually, we play a lot of writers' games. We do funny drawings. We try to make each other laugh. It's not too.
The way I figured out how to explain this, so it isn't disappointing when you hear that all of the fate of the world isn't already figured out. Because I think that's what any fan would want to hear. That I would want to hear that. If I was talking to the Battlestar Galactica guys, I'd be like, so do you know what happens with the rest of Battlestar Galactica world for all eternity? Have you gotten it all down? I'm interested to know, but I want it to be real. But what it is we're playing D&D, where I'm playing D&D. We're role-playing the characters while we're writing them. So we're having the same experiences that y'all are having when you're watching it, because we're figuring it out as we go along. We are those characters. When we put ourselves into that situation, we figure out what they would do if we were them, which I think is cool, which is a cool answer, I think. Right? Also, yeah, your answer. My answer.
I like D&D. I want to play with you guys. Come on, man. You guys are holding out.
I feel like there's a way that it's sort of more real. You can feel whether or not something feels right or feels wrong, so you're sort of chipping away at the universe, and it's not all figured out, but you know when something's right. So it exists sort of outside of any person and what they want. And I think that's like a really powerful thing that I always felt working on the show.
Do you ever stumble across things that feel wrong? Because, I mean, you're talking about a universe where really anything can happen, so what could be wrong in a world like that?
Oh, lots of stuff.
Oh.
I don't know. I'd be like, hey, can I do this? And no. That would be wrong. Right? That would happen a lot.
Yeah, well, like, if we're talking about Finn crying a lot, like,
Oh, yeah.
I think when you're writing kids as an adult, you just end up like punishing them for some reason when you're writing them. You're making them get beat up. You're making them cry a lot. They're whining. When you're on your first instinct, I think, when anyone starts to write for a kid. But I didn't want Finn to be like that because I wanted to watch the show and feel inspired by Finn, and I wouldn't be inspired by a big whiny baby. So that was my mandate at the beginning, was like, let's not make him cry a bunch and feel like a sissy all the time. I wanted him to, because that's who like Leonardo is to me. I don't know if we can talk about Ninja Turtles.
You can't talk about Ninja Turtles here, where can you?
Well, I couldn't on the DVD.
Oh.
But Leonardo was always a bummer to me because he was always like, Splinter, what you do? Splinter, I don't know, guys, will you stop rapping? Please, rap, would you just calm down? Mike, stop being a party animal. You're too cool, man. You gotta bring it back. Leonardo sucked. And I think that when you're writing a hero, they end up doing a lot of that stuff. When you're writing your hero, because heroes are always like, why? Why are you being bad? Why are you doing this? Why can't you be good? And they start turning into this. I think at least that's what I do when I write myself as a hero. Why? Why isn't everyone happy and good? So you gotta pull it back and put in a little rap, put in a little mic, a little Don. Does that make sense?
Does it feel like Finn has grown up a little bit over the years? That he's a little more comfortable with the princesses now. He kind of knows what his feelings are.
He's not as awkward with the ladies, is that what you're asking? I think Finn's, at least in other areas, definitely grown up a lot. I think you can hear him growing up a lot, which is good. we have him age in the show. He's had birthdays and stuff. I think you really do see really cool character arc over the entirety of the show. Especially now we're having some really cool backstory stuff coming up.
I know Jake is getting fatter.
He does, dude. He's got a gun on him
He's
now.
getting fatter now. He's getting older, man. He's a dog. Dogs get fat,
You start putting on that little, that little blue on the eye.
Oh, man.
I love dogs. Fighting for the record.
Yes.
I imagine you get asked this kind of thing quite often with respect to the show, but I mean, do you feel like you have an ideal audience in mind that you're writing for? Is it for kids? Is it for adults? Is it for adults watching alongside kids, or does that not really matter?
No, we just write to make ourselves laugh. I think that's all you can do. I think we're all just we just try to crack ourselves up and then kick it out the door. That's all we can do.
I've never experienced a show, I've never worked on a show that has such a diverse group of people that like it. From ages 1 to 92, like people watch this show with their grandparents who might happen to be hippies. You know what I mean? But it's just brilliant. I mean, I was trying to figure this show out, and it was frustrating to me because I was kind of in the dark, and I was like, and I was talking to Tom Kenny, who plays the Ice King. And sometimes I don't get it, man. What is this? What am I missing?
I remember that.
And he looked at me and went, John, calm down. It's this generation's Yellow Submarine.
Yeah.
And I went, and it's true. I mean, it's just like you created like this just great place to be, and you can see it. You can see see with the hats, man. You can see all the hats. Everybody agrees. You know what I mean, right? That's it. You're welcome.
So we have another clip that we're going to show. I think it feels appropriate for Halloween time coming up. You don't know what it is yet. I might be wrong. It's not a Halloween. It's a scene of Finn battling the Lich monster. It goes to some dark places. We see the characters get roughed up a little bit. The villain is like genuinely frightening. I'm still having nightmares about him. I mean, you feel like as the show's developed, you have the ability and the license to kind of go into some of these darker areas that maybe weren't there in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, I like the darkest of places, and we usually have to pull it back from those places just a little bit. And there was an episode where Jake saw his own death. Did y'all see that one? Yeah. That one was way darker than what you saw. And it was almost unairable, I think. And then I went in and lightened it up.
It is unairable in the states of Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana. Certain places down there. Wow. You are evil. Pendleton Ward is evil. Playing Dungeons and Dragons. You're an evil person, but you're kind. You're a dichotomy.
You feel like this is something that the show maybe had to build up to a little bit, or had to kind of earn with the audience. You start off in a kind of a happier, sweeter place, and then as we learn more about the world and as the characters develop, we can go on these adventures where people are maybe in a little more peril.
I've been dark since the beginning, but the show's gotten darker, I think, because as the show became more successful, I had a little more pull to sort of pull the show into weirder places, which I think is only making making more people into it. Does that make sense? I don't know. We're all just shooting in the dark still. We're just doing stuff that we like, and I'm glad that other people dig it. That's all we can do is just keep making it the way that we like it. And if y'all like it, you'll tell us, and you'll tell us if you don't like it. I'll get a lot of those on Twitter too. But that's all we're doing now. I lost the question.
By the way, the Lich, the voice of the Lich is Ron Perlman. Hellboy coming into the studio. Hey, guys.
And Jeremy, what are you doing in a recording booth when you're fighting a Lich? Are you bouncing off the walls and kicking and throwing punches?
Dude, I wish, man. I'd mess up all the gear in there, though. I think Robert, our engineer, wouldn't be too happy with me. No, dude, I'm going all out, though, man. I'm getting all into it with all the hand motions and the, yeah, you know what? You guys probably want to hear a yell, don't you? Yeah, oh, sorry.
My pajamas.
What?
Say my pajamas. My pajamas.
My pajamas? My pajamas! A lot of that going on.
Did you get that shouting out?
Thank you.
As you're walking down the street, you get people leaning out of cars shouting, "My pajamas!"
No, I don't get any my pajamas. Maybe New York, or randomly.
If that's the worst thing that somebody shouts at you in New York,
Oh, my pajamas! Pizza! Pizza?
Pizza!
Hamburger! Speaking of food,
Making pancakes are really
he'll pick it up.
Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4. Bacon pancakes, bacon, bacon pancakes. Bacon and put it in a pancake. Bacon pancakes, that's what it's gonna make. Bacon pancakes. Put it in a pancake. Bacon pancakes, that's what it's gonna make. Bacon pancakes. Bacon pancakes, bacon, bacon pancakes. I take some bacon and I put it in a pancake. Bacon pancakes, that's what it's gonna make. Bacon pancakes. That was making bacon pancakes. Take the dog. Oh yeah. You smell like you took a bath in rainbows and cupcakes.
I got a little choked up. That was terrific. When is the right time in an episode to deploy a musical number? How do you decide?
I don't think it's planned out, is it?
Do you have a theory, Rebecca, on when to start singing?
It would usually be figured out in advance. There'd be like a thing, like, oh, a song goes here. Try to come up with something. There was one for the musical episode, What Was Missing. I remember the outline said, Finn plays the most incredible song ever. I was like, oh, thanks.
1, 2, 3, go!
That was really hard.
Was that a hard song? I mean, it sounds like it was a challenging song to come up with. I mean, you have to sort of go away for days and be locked away and figure these things out, or they just kind of occur spontaneously to you. You have a moment of inspiration.
A little bit. Well, once I would know I'd have to do it, I just started sort of thinking about it all the time, and hopefully it would come out. That one was really hard. Although we sort of shifted it to be less about it being the most awesome song and more just sort of about an emotionally honest song. That is a little more flexible than the greatest song anyone's ever heard.
That's really why they are so powerful, though. That's why even baking pancakes can bring a tear to my eyes, because it is about characters telling you what they really want and what they feel.
I had somebody come up to me the other day and said they made bacon waffles. I was like, bacon waffles.
Now, I'm asking this out of pure selfishness, but who came up with "I'm a buff baby"?
Not me, I can tell you that. All right, well, let's get it, love.
I'm a tough dude, baby. I can dance like a man. I can punch in your fanny. I can punch in your can. I can punch in your buns. Punch in your buns. If you're an evil witch, I will punch you for fun.
I had some guy came up to me yesterday, and he had an Adventure Time tattoo all over his back. He's a big dude too. He had all sorts of crazy tattoos, but he was like, "Hey, check this out." Shows me he's got Jake and Princess Bubblegum and Finn and the whole thing on the back. And then he had underneath it, "Punchy your buns." It made me so happy. And I signed his back. Anyway, I got it tattooed. It was fun.
I was in Canada, I signed a dude's back real big over his love handle. Real big. And he went and got it tattooed and showed it to me the next day.
Hey, y'all are freaky. Let me tell you. All you gathered in one place. You an army. Yeah.
Sign your love handles. Send me those handles. I'll sign them. I'll sign your lumps.
And are you comfortable with your alter ego, your status as Lumpy Space Princess?
I'm not comfortable. But I can do this. I can do it. Oh my!
Did you realize what you were signing on for when you breathed life into that character?
Nobody else can do that for you. That's all. That's the beauty of Lumpy Space Princess, is that it's perfect. You and Lumpy Space, it's just perfect. The matchup.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm embarrassed how much I do relate to Lumpy Space.
Her wants and desires are, they are understandable. We can.
Boys! Come on, boys! I don't want to write books. I want to be an author and write about boys. Yeah, how that comes out.
You had that really awesome romance novel idea.
Oh,
I really
that's
want.
perfect. New York Times bestseller. Lumpy Space Princess tells it all.
This is another of my sort of weird obsessions. But one of the things I love about the show is that there is actually continuity from episode to episode, and events occur, and relationships develop, and even things that characters acquire. They're there the next time. Are these things that are important to you also? These are lessons you've learned as you work on the show?
Yeah, continuity is important to me because I play D&D and I like having that loop. I want them to have that loop. On The Simpsons, stuff would jump around that big head that Mr. Burns gave him one time, that big, tiki head. And I was always like, well, I wanted it to be in their living room all the time. It didn't fit there. They put it in the basement, I think. They had a basement, I think, all of a sudden. I don't know, did they always have a basement?
They had a basement. Yeah, they always had.
There was one room, I feel like, when I was little, that they made up. It was like beneath the stairs or something. What?
The mysterious rumpus room?
The rumpus room? Oh, yeah, you can find that on Google.
Stairway/closet.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so it's important to me.
Sounds like a DJ's name. Yeah, this is Rumpus Room. And you are listening to the sweet, sweet sounds of Lumpy Space Princess.
So I want to show one more video clip that sort of illustrates this idea, and this is exploring the past of two characters who we know better as Ice King and Marcel. This is about who they were before we got to know them. It's such a bittersweet scene. I guess it's up to the viewer if we want to accept that as canon or not, but to know that the Ice King was once this other person, a pretty nice guy, actually. It's so sad.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
And tell us a little bit about the thought process that goes into something like that, about wanting to, even for a character like the Ice King, who we think we know, you want to give him layers, and you want to make him, have all these facets.
There's an episode of Holly Jolly Secrets where it's a Christmas episode. Or,
Love that.
Two-parter, finding these tapes. Yeah, and it was we were trying to figure out how to end it, and Pat McHale came up with this idea that we'd see Ice King, we'd see him as Simon Petrikov, who he was. It kind of came from that. It was really just simple idea. But I remember when we were talking about doing it, I was just like, wow, this is really sad. I'm glad we did it. It's so I'm just tearing up watching that. Tom Kenny, he didn't know, he never watched Cheers, so he didn't know that. He didn't know how to sing the theme song. And we had to find a YouTube clip and play it. And he was like, okay, and he'd go in, and it still sounds kind of off, but it works perfectly.
Yeah.
He's going through a lot.
I couldn't tell if you were sort of deliberately trying to get the song wrong so you wouldn't have to pay licensing.
Yeah. It worked out great.
Tom Kenny is awesome at jumping between insane and completely insane and silly, and he can do it on the spot. He's just like completely sincere and sensitive, and then he's like a maniac and like woo-hoo, and he's going on the rails. It's awesome to watch because you're there with him when he's doing it.
He's one of the best in the business. Period. Stuff that was done, I mean, you know, just like, I mean, listen to SpongeBob and then you listen to the Ice King and you're like, wait a minute, what? Like, at the same time, like, that's incredible. He's one of the best. The reason he didn't know the Cheers theme song is because he was working in comedy clubs, you know, when Cheers was on. Like, he wasn't around.
He said he just doesn't watch television.
Yeah.
He's like really knowledgeable about music. And
No, he knows everything about music. He's brilliant about it.
You've got a lot of great voice talent. I mean, in addition to your regulars, you've gotten people to appear on the show over the years, like Maria Bamford and Brian Hossein, Steve Agee. I mean, are these all people that you just become friendly with through the show, or they're fans of the show?
I'm just a fan of them. I just like to hire comedians and actors that I'm a big fan of because it's fun. And like working next to Brian Hossein was awesome. It's not we're not buds or anything. It doesn't turn into like an awesome buddy friendship.
Do you have his number? I have his number.
Let's call him.
All right. Right now.
But it was just fun for me getting to stand next to him while he was doing voices for Businessman, for the Businessman. And I got to stand there and go, next to him, and he was going, this is amazing.
Put it on speaker!
Yeah, it'll be on speaker.
So we have about 10 minutes, and in that time I want to make sure we get audience members to ask their questions as well.
I got Brian calling Brian Hossein and putting on speaker. It's ringing. Over here.
Let's leave him a message.
Hey Brian, it's DiMaggio. Dude, I'm sitting here with Penn Ward. Say hi, Penn. And I got about 1,000 people that would like to say hi. Adventure Time, Penn, like New York Comic Con. You guys got to say hi to Brian.
Let's take our first audience questions. I guess we'll start on my right at the microphone that side.
Sorry. I just want to start with saying I really love you guys. I've been watching your show forever. One of my favorite characters is Lemon Grab, and exactly. I just want to know where are we going with that? Why? How did you put a kid in a kid's show? You stop nightmares.
It's going somewhere. We can't talk about it. Yeah, it was just Tom Herpick and Jesse Moynihan storyboarded and wrote the first episode, and they kind of designed them, and then Justin Roiland does the voice, and he came in and just started screaming. It was great.
Thanks very much.
Sorry, this mic is. Oh wait.
Where are we?
Darn it. Is it me? I'm so confused.
Is there
Me or her? It's you, dude.
All right, it's me. Okay, I was wondering about princesses. Do you just come up with a concept and say, let's just put the word princess at the end of this tragedy because it goes princess, lost princess? Just, what are princesses to you? Why do they exist? Like, how'd you make so many?
I don't know. I like girls. We put a lot of princesses in. I think we jumped the shark when when Bounce House Princess. Yeah! Which is fine, I think. I'm glad that we took the shark, because now, like, any kind of princess can be there. It's fun. Like, Bounce House Princess. Oh, you do the voice of Bounce House Princess. Hey, there!
I thought embryo princess was a little worse.
Is there an embryo? That's kind of gross.
You're all wrong. Embryo Princess was just right. Thumbs up. One thumbs up for Embryo Princess. It's true. It's very Disney. It's very different from Disney Princess.
Okay.
We're together doing this. I'm Mackenzie, and I have this friend named Sydney, and she recently got on the cheerleading squad for our school, and she can't be at Comic-Con, and she's madly in love with you, Jeremy. She cried and stuff.
She's madly in love.
No, madly. No.
Madly.
So, please, can you say, Sydney, I love you?
Just say it, dude. It's okay.
All right.
Sydney, I love you.
Thank you, guys.
Hi, thanks for coming out and seeing everybody. That's great. This show, to me, it's my favorite show. Probably the best show I've ever seen on TV.
Thanks, man.
And it really means a lot to me, and I'm really glad that you guys do what you do. So, and my question is you guys have this huge world, so much to work with, and all this history that you could do, and all this history that you could work with. And I was wondering if there's ever going to be some kind of like compendium bringing together all of the history of Boo and everything around it until maybe a bigger book.
I'd love for there to be. It's tough to write books and the show at the same time. I think the show is a full-time job. But I think there will be. There'll be compendiums for sure. Martin Olson's is a really rad writer, and he's doing a lot of history of Boo books. He also wrote an encyclopedia of hell on his own time. He's a really cool dude, so he'll probably write some books that you'll dig. Answer your question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm James. You talked about this a little bit already. I just wanted to hear a little bit more about it. We talked about how Adventure Time, while being a kids show, can also go to some really dark territories. Particularly the Lemon Grab Castle, or the ending to the Fiona and Cake episode that has a very adult scene that quickly gets diffused into something else. I was wondering how you work with the network around that, or is it just that now you have kind of implicit trust from Cartoon Network, or if it's something you have to kind of like sneak in a little bit with like semantics in the scripts, or that kind of thing?
There's nothing sneaky. I mean, they trust us not to blow up the show, and so we keep it within what we know can be on TV, and we try to at least. And if we don't, they tell us. That's it. But I'm not trying to sneak in stuff that I don't think will work, right? I just made eye contact with the people, and it shot right into my soul. I couldn't think for a second. Whoops. All right. So does that answer your question?
I was wondering, do you ever get notes from them that's like, no, man, this is too dark, can't do this?
Yeah, sometimes. We made it lighter, but we didn't sacrifice anything. I think whenever you're fixing a note, you're always finding the happy middle ground to make everybody happy. And we don't move forward with something unless we're stoked on it.
A lot of show business is about compromise.
Yeah.
So, you give and take.
Two things. One, will Jake ever find a girlfriend?
What do you mean? He's got to make it fair.
I'm not Jake, I'm sorry.
Jake's got kids, dude.
Forgive me, I'm like half asleep.
It's okay, don't worry about it.
So he's looking right now. He's looking around. He's trying to figure himself out too. I think right now. It's a weird place for Finn right now.
We're going back to the theme of puberty again. Everybody's uncomfortable. Yes.
It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to write. It's uncomfortable to watch it. I'm sure y'all have been watching the latest ones, and you're like, ooh.
Uncomfortable to record it sometimes.
The other thing I was going to ask is, my sister introduced me to this show, and unfortunately she couldn't come here, and she's really upset. Is there any chance we could get a picture with you guys for her?
I'm going to be
Just
on
do a
the floor.
selfie right now, man. Turn around.
There you go. Seriously. Take it back, turn around, look at it. You got an iPhone, just do a selfie and just, there you go. Seriously. Compromise. Got it? It's all about compromise.
You working with that new iOS 7? Tricking you up? Samsung. Wow.
Hey, wait, ready? Go ahead. You got it? Got it? Hey! Hey, sister that couldn't make it! How you doing? You get it? Oh, it's Marshall Lee. What's going on, dude?
Nothing much.
All right.
I just want to know, can we expect more from in the future? To see more Fiona and Cake, Marshall Lee?
Yeah, you will. Yeah. By the way, that's how I take photos of Lou Ferrigno when I'm at Comic-Con. Either way. So I don't have to pay $50 for it.
I totally have time for only 2 more questions, sorry.
A couple quick things. Ken, Ken, I was wondering if you could share an orange juice moment from the commentary track that we didn't get to hear.
Oh. Man, I'm trying to think of something. Orange juice, we kept saying orange juice whenever anyone would say something inappropriate on the DVD commentary. And so the commentary would be cut out. It would be like, we're talking, blank. Orange juice, all right, let's go back in. So I can't remember one of them, though. I can only remember one, and it was the worst thing ever. And Ken said it, and I can't repeat it. Maybe if we found a corner somewhere and I could whisper it to you.
I like how you put stuff like Ken. It's like Ken said it. I can't.
Yeah.
Maybe in lieu of that, then we could take a quick randomly generated question from Nemo.
Oh, Bimo.
That sounds like a twofer.
Do you know any good jokes?
Why did the punk rocker cross the road? He was stapled to the chicken. One person really loved that joke. That's about it.
This will have to be our last question, sorry everyone.
You lucked out, dude. You better make it good.
I'll try.
Don't screw it up, man.
I won't be Emmett. All right. First of all, I just wanted to say, your show, when eventually I am in charge of raising a small little one myself, and I need to teach them about the hard things in life and how to get through them, I'm going to use your show to help fill in the gaps I might have to be able to teach them myself.
You're gonna have a weird kid.
Excellent. And my actual question was, are we gonna see like Huntress Princess? I think she's like a really coolly designed character, and maybe the gender flip version of Huntress Princess eventually. Will we see that? Because I think she's cool.
Maybe. A lot of people think she's really cool. And yeah, I think she's cool too. Yeah. Well, keep it in mind, bro. For you and your kid.
All right.
Kind of the Steven Universe